Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to react to the World Cup. I know that throughout the World Cup there's been like one or two YouTube shorts on it, but it's what it is. I've been busy, and it's over now, so I can just go over the whole thing. Yeah. And I think the best place to start is the World Cup final, which was an utter disgrace, really. I think the way that Argentina played was horrific. Not having any shots on target in 90 minutes in a World Cup final is just poor. But it's more the disgrace after the game that you saw, obviously. Paredes should be banned for 11, 12 months from international football at least. You've lost the World Cup final, and your reaction is to kick someone's legs and punch them in the throat because they're happy that they won. He should be banned. That's the only logical answer. And FIFA are investigating it, and it might happen, but I don't see a world where he should come back to football. And Molina should have at least 3 months banned because that was a horrific thing to do, hitting out for no reason. You don't do that. You just gracefully accept the loss like a lot of the team did. But instead they wanted to start a brawl, and Kabasi and Gavi got battered in that game. After the game, Gavi got obviously floored. And during the game, Enzo Fernandez is a mentalist, and I don't know how he complained. I'm ranting this video. This is the rant of Argentina and of all the World Cup. I'm ranting, so there's no script. So I'm going to just go off on limbs. I don't know how he complained, because he's gone through him, and Kabasi's then done a somersault. You're on a yellow, Enzo. How are you complaining? I think Argentina, if they had played like that against us, we would have won. We would have won. It's not even a question. But they decided not to play football on Saturday. And thank goodness Spain won. Football won. A lot of people have been saying it. I'm going to say it as well. Football won on Saturday because that was poor. That was a poor display, and the sportsmanship was not there. On the trophy lift, it was just not there. They turned their backs. It's poor. Everything about that was shocking, and FIFA needs to do something for once. A little bit more positive. I'm really happy that FIFA gave Pau Kabasi the young player of the tournament, because you don't see that given to defenders at all, not often enough. But he was solid throughout the whole tournament. 1 goal conceded throughout that whole defence. Obviously, Unai Simon got the Golden Glove, but Pau Kabasi really deserved that. I thought he was amazing all tournament. One thing, I didn't watch many Spain games, okay? But the ones I watched, obviously, I saw Pau Kabasi, I saw Unai Simon, I saw Ferran Torres, I saw even Pedro Porro was very good. Rodri looked like just a normal midfielder. He looked like Elliot Anderson, in my opinion. And that's probably an unpopular opinion, because, obviously Elliot Anderson does a solid job in that midfield for England. But I didn't see anything special. I don't think he deserved the golden ball. I think Messi, Jude, Harry Kane, any of them three deserved it. But hey ho. Anyway, on to the rest of the tournament. We'll go with Cape Verde. I want to start with Cape Verde. Wow. I was rooting for them to go so far. And of course, Argentina knocked them out. But who doesn't like Cape Verde now? If you find someone that doesn't like Cape Verde, send them my way, okay? Because what they've done is they've shown that you can do anything that you want if you just decide to. That's literally it. They decided that they wanted to win this tournament, or they wanted to go further than they were expected to. They finished second in their group. They took Argentina, the world champions, the old world champions, to extra time, and nearly took them to penalties. That's grit, that's heart, that's determination, and that's something everyone will at least respect them for. And personally, I'm really thankful that we got to see that type of story. Curacao, I think they did really, really well. You know, they got a point. Eloy Room got the most saves ever in a World Cup game in 90 minutes, which is obviously amazing for him, and that's going to be celebrated in his home country. I think, for me, I would have liked to see them go further, just because I always root for the underdogs, and I really would have liked to see Curacao and Cape Verde in round of 32, but it is what it is, and you don't get everything that comes your way. On to the actual knockout stage now, and I'm going to focus on England, because if you couldn't tell, I'm English. So, I don't think we were that good. I think we could have played better. I think if Jude Bellingham decided that he wasn't the only player in this team, I think we would have played better. If Thomas Tuchel decided that, you know, he wanted to play football after going 1-0 up, we would have played better. DR Congo, I actually, you know, again, thankful that they played like that. I'm happy for them, because to play like they did against the fourth, now third best in the world, is amazing. You know, they were relentless. You know, they constantly had Jed out of position, Jed Spence, and because he was doubling up on, it could have been Johan Wissa, who should have scored it, again in that game. Not again, but he should have got a second for Dr. Congo, or DR Congo, in that game. But for me, I think we were always going to get the two. We were always going to score. It was just a matter of when. And I think we deserved a lot more out of the game. 100%. We probably should have had 3 or 4. Just purely on the opponent. Obviously, massive respect to them. But we are too good to be allowing them to go 1-0 up within 5. Or whatever. Now, on to our round of 16 opponents. We probably, and I say this lightly, got away with one in the round of 16. Boo me all you want, we got away with one, okay? Because Mexico didn't turn up in the end, because of whatever reason. They weren't as good as they should have been, and they weren't as good as we expected them to be. And I think it was also our best performance of the World Cup, 100%. The best performance I've seen in my time as an England fan, because, you know, growing up, so far, we've been to, in my memory, semis, quarters, semis of the World Cup, final of the Euros, quarters of the World Cup, final of the Euros, semis again of the World Cup. That's 5 tournaments, and in not one tournament I've gone, yes, this is gonna happen, because we're dominating teams and we're better than teams. We weren't better than DR Congo on the day. We are overall, but we weren't. We weren't better than Mexico. We were better than Mexico on the day, actually, but barely. But we weren't better than Norway. Norway probably deserves more. And obviously Argentina, I don't even know what happened. I'm probably going to more DL later on in the video. But against Mexico, you don't expect them to be that good. And we went in with arrogance, and I think it worked. We need to do that more. We need more arrogance, because if you don't have arrogance, you're not going to have confidence. And I think arrogance is the best type of confidence, because it can put your opponent way off. Way off. But it was a really interesting game to watch. I did stay up for it, and I was stressing in my room at 3 a.m. I then had to travel up to Belgium the next day. So I was travelling on 3 hours sleep, which obviously I got back on a coach through the Eurotunnel, but still, I think, look, we should have gone further in the World Cup, and we should have dominated teams more. Norway, obviously, massive respect to Norway. I went into that game and I was thinking, I said to my mate, if we nullify Ødegaard, we've automatically nullified Haaland, and if we can't nullify Ødegaard, we've got 3 City players who are in defence, 4 if you count James Trafford, but he won't play, that can read him, know what he's going to do, and then nullify him. So, no matter what, I thought, right, that's fine, we've sorted that issue. Can we attack, please? We barely got through. We went 1-0 down, and then we realised, oh, we're England, we've got to, we never die, we never say die, sort of thing. And I think we should have done better again. Like, obviously, it's gone to extra time, and that's amazing, for them. But we shouldn't be put through that as England fans, okay? My heart shouldn't be pounding against a team who've not qualified for the World Cup in 30 years. They should be gone. Their bags should be packed already. Their plane should have landed, okay? Because they haven't qualified in how many years? We should have been playing Brazil. And I know it sounds mad, but we should have been. And I would rather have played Brazil because of that, and won in that way, because they're Brazil. Obviously, you expect Brazil to win. You expect Brazil to play well, and we would have beaten them. But again, we had to make things difficult, which brings me on to the semi-finals, where everything went to. It went out the window. And when I say Gordon scoring was the best moment in my life, I don't say that loosely. It was the best moment in my life until we gave that racist scumbag an opportunity from 30 yards. Enzo Fernandez, I hate you with all my heart, okay? He's not watching this. Why am I saying that? Well, it's true, isn't it? I think it's still painful. Still painful to talk about. Look, I think Pickford should do better on the Enzo goal, because Pickford, obviously, he's not anticipating it to go out to Enzo, but when it does, what Enzo's been doing the whole game is shooting from range, and to be stood there in your goal is poor, I think. I used to be a goalkeeper, and obviously it's easier said than done, right? It's always easier said than done. But I do think that 100% he should save that. If he takes a step or two over into the middle of his goal, he catches that. He catches that. 100% catches that, because he is not a joke, man. He's not an idiot. He is a professional goalkeeper playing for the national team. He knows that he doesn't need to fanny about and parry it and give them an easy tap in. He knows that he can just catch the ball like this. Okay? He doesn't need to be there, though. He doesn't need to be all the way over to his right in his goal. I get that the cross he thought was going to come in and then head it back up. I don't care. He should do better. And that's what I said the minute that shot went in. Along with some other words in my head, because there was family around. I'm not going to repeat. Because it's a family channel. If we want to go far in tournaments, again, we need to do what we did against France. Not bother sitting back after 1-0. Keep going, because they look fragile. Get 2 or 3, and then sit back, because you don't want to waste energy. Because if your tactic after going 1-0 up is bringing on 6 defenders, you are not going to win a tournament. As an Arsenal fan, I know all about her handball, okay? I've seen it from us this whole year. But not once did Arteta bring on 6 defenders. Not once did we have Nkapie, Ben White, Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, that's 7. All on the pitch at the same time. Not once. Because he's not an idiot. Why would you do something like that? Also left out Timber. Why? Why would you do that? Unless it is the 85th minute and you've just scored. Of course, I get it. 5 minutes ago to hold on. You scored in the 65th. That means you got probably 30 or 40 minutes, because I added time, to hold on. And if they score, you've got no outlet up front because Harry Kane's slow. You've used most of your substitutions. And your only outlets on the bench are Rashford, Saka, who's not really fit, and Ivan Toney, who's also not fast. We need to see something different. 100% different in the Euros. Which I think it's going to come home in the Euros, because we looked better than France and Spain. Obviously, it's a golden generation for Spain, 100%. But I don't think it will be sustained up until that period, unless Lamine Yamal obviously develops further and wins a Ballon d'Or or 2. I don't think that happens. I don't think that they beat us. But, yeah, I think it was just a horrible display after the 65th minute. But again, Enzo Fernandez shouldn't even be in that position. That punch to the back of the head is horrific. It's something that is so dangerous. Combat sports have banned it because it can cause injuries that are so severe that it could end someone's life, or at least cause other conditions that make them paralysed or something. It went unlooked at by VAR. Referee didn't give a foul, or if he did, he didn't give a booking. They got away with things the whole game, and that's what they do. They are scrappy. They push that boundary further and further and further. They always want to foul. And they figured out they figured out the whole tournament what they can do, they can't do, just to stop themselves from getting a free kick against them or a yellow card against them. In the final, they took it too far, and obviously the red card was dished out, and a couple of red cards were dished out. I think we 100% should have gone through there, and if we had gone through, I think we could have won that World Cup. I think that was our moment as well. That is the thing that annoys me most. That is our moment. If we go through there, we are there. We can. If we just win a football match, we are champions of the world. But no, because we couldn't get through to it. I'm not going to talk about the third place playoff because it was what you expected. England versus France, both not caring if they won or not. Other than France when they went 4-0 down, I realised, a bit embarrassing. But England, 6 goals past France. We're just pretty good at football, aren't we? I stand by it. We're the best team in the world, but don't care anymore anyway. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that brings the World Cup 2026 to a close. Hopefully more long-form videos coming out soon. I've got 6 weeks break from schooling, so maybe you get to see the last pound mass save that I've been cooking up off stream and off this thing. Thank you very much for watching all the way. If you have watched all the way, that means you like me, so you should subscribe and like the video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.